You leave the script store, the lovely Delilah, uh, and head sort of across the way to a rather nice-looking blacksmith. It has a breastplate hanging above the door that has a large dent in it, and beneath it a sign that says "The Dent's Lament," a rather fun and punny name for a blacksmith. You can hear the clang and bang from within of a blacksmith applying his trade, bending steel to his will, and you see an elderly dwarf, hair shockingly white, long beard that's covered in singes, sort of pounding away at a large breastplate as you enter. He says, "Hold on just a moment, lads. I'll be with you in but a moment. Rather stubborn breastplate right here." As he continues denting away, you sit for 5 minutes and have a look around the shop. You can see there are all sorts of, not just weapons, but shovels and chains, hammers, and all the stuff you would expect of a blacksmith. And after this brief time, he sort of, tosses the breastplate away and shakes his head. "Haven't had much good fucking steel in this town in almost 16 years. Now what can I do for you lads?"
Looking to maybe actually get me some armor.
"Of course, lads, we've got plenty of armor of all sorts. I myself don't even work in just minerals. I even know a thing or two about leather."
So, just out of character, Colin, is there a heavy armor that does not impede on what you call it or no, heavy armor does not give you the dex bonus, right?
Yes, you do not get a dexterity bonus when you're wearing
Medium
heavy
does.
armor.
Okay.
I
Is
think
there
scale mail's eyes
a
can go?
medium armor that does not impede on stealth?
Yes. However, medium armor's cap is at +2 dexterity, so
Okay.
if you've got more than that, then
I
you're
do have more than that.
then you're
So,
all, just medium
armor?
alone is impeding if you're doing that.
okay. So then I want light armor, I guess.
Well, of course. If you're looking for light armor, that is not going to mess around too much with your ability to move. You're going to want some studded leather. If you're going to want to go up a little bit higher, perhaps to a medium armor, then you're going to want to go up to a breastplate. You're not looking to have your movement impeded or anything like that. Alternatively, there is, well, mithril armor will do the trick for you, but that's worth a fair bit of coin.
Hmm. Well, I'm willing to spend some coin. I think this is
Oh, good. I'm willing to take some coin if you're willing to spend it.
how much is mithril armor?
Well, it depends on what you're looking for. If you're looking for just something as simple as a chain shirt, they can be a little bit expensive, but for the most part, reasonable. A lot more reasonable than, say, a full set of mithril plate mail.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But if you're looking for, and mithril only comes in, obviously, medium armor and heavy armor, you don't have much use for mithril on leather armors and cloth armors. So if, say, you were looking for the what are you looking for? Well, a half-plate set of armor,
Mechanically, I'm looking for something that will give me as much armor as I can get, and I have proficiency in everything and have a +4 to my dexterity, so I guess that would be +4 to my armor.
It can be a little bit hard to sort of tabulate that out, because basically you've got a +4 to your dexterity right now, and the max you'll get from light armor with a +4 is 16. Whereas if you were to go, or a studded leather, it would be 16. That's the highest level armor. If you were to go to half plate, it would be, or which is the highest level of medium armor, it would be 17. And if you went with
my dexterity?
that's with your dexterity, because medium armor caps your bonus from max dexterity at 2.
Okay.
And heavy armor, your max would be 18, but you don't receive any bonus from your dexterity.
Gotcha. And then the plate heavy armor would also impede my movement.
Yes. Technically, if you got plate mail, it would be plate mail is extremely expensive. And mithril plate mail would be wildly expensive. Half plate, quite expensive. In fact, half plate itself is extremely expensive. But like a breastplate, you don't really need a mithril breastplate. But
because I have because my natural armor is 12 plus my dex, I just want to get more than that.
You would be looking for cloaks of protections, bracers of defense, and things like that. Because you're not going to get anything else from your dexterity if you go up in armors, basically.
Gotcha.
That is sort of how dexterity interplays with armor, essentially.
Yeah. Well, does this gentleman have anything of that sort?
Well, I've got a pair of very nice bracers, but those are a fairly valuable magical item, and
Bracers?
Bracers of defense, yes. They're quite expensive, though. Must warn you.
How much is quite expensive to you?
I couldn't take anything less than 1,000 gold pieces for them.
Ooh.
They're quite a rare magical item.
And how much do they give, like armor wise?
Well, in mechanical purposes, it's a +2 to armor class if you're not wearing armor. Oh, and you're not using a shield, so...
Yeah.
It's literally like for monk.
It would allow me to stop using my shield.
Now, if you're looking for something a little bit more affordable, you're going to want to try the haberdasher across the way. They've got a couple of things. Cloak of Protection is the first thing that comes to mind. That itself is actually pretty common, or I wouldn't say common, but it's a pretty popular magic item, I would say it is.
Man, can you believe these shopkeepers are so nice? They send their...
I mean, if he literally doesn't have it, why not?
I mean, I don't have anything like that on me. I've got armor, I've got arms, and I've got armor, and I can make you a fine set of armor. But if you're not looking for armor, you're looking for bracers and things like that, then I'm not the person you want to go to. You want to go for the haberdasher if you're looking for a cloak of protection. That's the only thing off the top of my head that I can think of.
Well, I'll hang around and wait while my fellows shop. I know they wanted to get some things.
I mean, I was thinking about
I was saying you can always try to haggle them down or offer things that they might be willing to drop the price to.
Yeah.
Way too much.
Yeah, if anyone else wants to do things.
What?
I'm just along for the ride.
Because I literally have my shotels, the earring for communication in the hood, so I don't have, like, things to give.
If you've got anything to sell, I mean, you've got, if you're going to use the mantis claw, you've got the ice shotel to sell.
Oh yeah, but the whole point was if I potentially was going to dual wield, I would want to keep them both, but if I'm not going to dual wield, I don't need it, if that makes sense.
San Francisco.
How much gold did we each come out to get in the end? It was like 700 something, right?
714.
Just from the base that you
Yeah.
got. Got anything to
Cool.
sell, you can sell it. If you got any items you
Yeah.
want to sell, any weapons, old weapons, things like that you want to sell. It comes to mind flagellant flesh you could sell.
Yeah, my yeah, I guess my money automatically converted to platinum.
Weird. Weird. I'm rich, boys!
Yeah. I mean, what is it? It's 10 gold is 1 platinum, so that makes sense. I mean, I would offer to help sell this ring, but I feel like that would be better used at a jeweler or like someone that sells jewelry. See how much that's worth.
Which ring?
I got a very fancy ring from the same place that you got your very fancy
Oh,
ring,
right.
but mine is not magical and just probably worth a pretty penny.
Well, I do a fair
Oh,
bit
yeah,
of trade in jewel crafting if you want to hand it over.
Yeah, I
Didn't
mean,
I get a necklace from that?
Did you?
I did, but I don't. It's not in my inventory.
best to get it appraised. I will.
You got me like a. It was some like necklace with like a figurine on it.
Oh, didn't you? Wait. Okay.
Or did I give that to somebody?
Didn't you? Did you get one of those medallions that you throw and it summons an animal or some shit?
Well, I've got one of the. Well, I've got an onyx dog that I've always had
Sell it.
and just never use.
Sell it all.
I
Oh.
can't. I would never sell that.
Yeah. Well, I'll have him look at the fancy ring while you figure out your medallion issue.
I mean, I don't know.
Um,
That's Colin's
Very
call, 'cause I don't know what it
interesting.
was.
Oh, it's not magical, but it's fairly nice. Well made. A bit of an inferior make on the metal. Well, inferior to what I could do, of course, but I'd be willing to give you a solid. What's that? Amethyst? 25 gold pieces is the best I can do.
Man, that is booze money.
25 feels like chump change after we just got 5,000.
Yeah. Well, you know.
It's a very nice ring, to be certain, but beyond the fact that it's very nice, it's unremarkable.
Well, that's fair. Unless you want to give this to Cora as a gift, Reed, I'll probably take the 25 gold.
No, I've already got plans.
Oh my god, they're gonna get me.
Wait, did I? No.
yeah. I'll take my 25 gold. That is fine.
Of course. He takes it and he reaches in his a small purse and pulls out 25 shining gold pieces and hands them to you. Says, "It's a pleasure doing business with you. Very lovely ring. Very lovely."
That might be good booze money. I'm telling you.
I want to talk to the dwarf if anybody's willing.
I've also got something else to do.
What do you
So-
What do you mean anybody's willing to talk to?
I don't know if everybody's done their thing already. I don't want to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm done.
I take
got
off
one
my
more
hood and tell him like, how much would you
Ah.
want for this?
I second. He sort of points at the necklace around your neck, the one that has a small, sort of toad figurine. He says, "I recognize that style of necklace. Toadstone necklace, they call it."
I just thought it looked neat. What does it do?
Well, I can't say it's the most impressive of magical items itself, but I've seen what it can do. It's he sort of looks at the small, sort of jade carving of a frog. It is, well, a necklace that lets you, well, almost swim and hold your breath like a frog.
How much would you give me for it?
This is a fairly nice little magical item. I'd be happy to give you 100 gold pieces for it.
Alright, and what about for this hood I have? Can I show him the flagellant's hood?
This one is a little bit rattier and beat up. Faint hints of magic on it, but certainly not anything particularly wowing. I'd be willing to give you 80.
Well, I think I'll definitely part ways with the toadstone necklace for the 100 gold.
Of course, of course. He reaches into his purse and pulls out 100 gold pieces, as he says, "To tell the truth, I don't often deal in or simple carvings, but I do quite like the look of this one." As he sort of ties it around his own neck, I might hold on to it myself.
Well, you never know.
Now, as for that hood, as I said, 80 gold pieces on the table, but I'm afraid it's a little bit more beat up than what I'm looking for.
That's okay. I think I'll keep it for now.
That's your right. Now, is there anything else I can help you find, gents? With got all sorts of armors and weapons.
How much could I get for this? And I want to hold up the flagellant's lash. It's magical.
Oh yeah. About the same as the hood, 80 gold pieces.
That's fine. So can we just subtract that from +1 armor?
Well, it depends on the armor you're looking for, obviously. If you're looking for +1 plate mail, it's a lot more than a +1 set of studded leather.
Shit.
Plate mail is an expensive and time-consuming thing to come across. Leather armor is fairly simple.
How much would a set of +1 plate mail be?
Oh, well, regular plate mail I charge 1,500 for, so
Shit.
plate mail is extremely expensive.
You're gonna have to get a lot of hand jobs for that one.
So much for getting that. I will still sell the flagellant's lash, though.
If you're looking for something a bit more modest, we do have it. +1 breastplate's quite affordable itself.
Would that work with the armor I already have?
No, it would have to be either or.
Yeah, I was about to say. It wouldn't add to my existing AC. It would.
No, it's
Cause
a set of armor.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's plate mail itself is very expensive. Extremely expensive.
Yeah. Okay. And my fucking chains are two-handed now, so I can't use my shield with it anymore. Which is why I was hoping to get the thing, but that's fine. I'll sell the lash and then add the 80 gold.
Thank you very much. Anything else I could do for you?
Yes, could you
Not at the moment.
could you reshape this for me? I hand him the Plague Bane's mask.
Oh yeah, that shouldn't be too much of an issue. What would you like it shaped into? Well, within reason. I don't imagine I could turn it into some sort of a great tower that stands 60 feet in the air, but if you wanted to look vaguely to look like another face, then sure.
Yes, just a half mask would be fine. One that still covers the nose.
It shouldn't be too much of a problem. Just half the mask itself? Do you want the protuberance left, or would you like it down to be more like a face?
More like a face.
Of course.
Damn, when he said half mask, I was thinking like the left half. I was like, fuck, that'd just be horrible. Why would you ever want that?
So a half mask. You want like a Phantom of the Opera mask?
Yeah, that's what Max wants.
What mask do you want exactly? How do you imagine?
I put it in
I think you
the
had
film
a
chat.
picture of it earlier.
Put it in the chat.
Yeah,
Okay.
above the cloth.
Okay. I think we can I can handle something like that, Matt. You don't have to worry about it. It's gonna take
Sort
a
of a Mortal
few
Kombat
hours to
thing.
do, but
And how much for the time?
this is a fairly simple task, really. 10 gold pieces.
Much obliged. And he sets aside the 10 gold.
He takes it and he looks at it. You can see, he sets it on a workbench to the side and says, well, I suppose I'll get started on it if there's anything else. But if there's nothing else, you're able to, head out.
Can't believe none of you asked about like the basilisk deck. That was 900 gold.
I'm gonna go to the haberdasher.
Yeah, that's a little bit beyond my wheelhouse of funds.
I mean, yeah,
Alright. Well, I'd like to head to the jeweler. But
All right. There's no a shop for the jeweler or the haberdasher. Unfortunately, you'll just have to use your fucking imagination.
oh no!
I hate using my imagination.
You head
Are you telling
towards.
me I have to pretend?
I know, right? Fucking it's
Fate of the mind.
bullshit. All right, you head back to the. You head out into the swirling snow. You can see it's now about midday, and you've been walking around town, getting various sundries and things like that, and armors and books, and you see that there is a haberdasher and a jeweler, much less prominent shops, very small, sort of hole in the walls. Even so, the jeweler has a very gaudy, ostentatious shop,
Of
with
course.
glittering, sort of lights, what appear to be like fairy lights or dancing lights in front of him. He has a large window. It looks like it was crumpled in during the fight in Ingress, but you can see it's been boarded up. And you can see from behind the boards, sort of orange glowing light. And you can actually hear faint music coming from within. As you enter the door, it is brightly lit with similar sort of dancing lights to the outside, except these are not in these various colors, no greens or pinks or purples. They're all just plain sort of orange, white lights that cast a sort of good glow across the entire jeweler's store. You can see, looks like this store was hit pretty hard during the fight of Ingress, and there's a couple cases that have been smashed open, but even so, there's a rather good-natured looking a bald man with a massive handlebar mustache wearing a jeweler's lens over a single eye. He has a small rag and he's polishing what appears to be maybe a garnet, maybe a ruby of some sort. Surprisingly large, with fastidious detail and attention to every facet. He doesn't seem to notice you when you walk in. He's completely absorbed in this cleaning of this gem.
Alright, that's perfectly fine by me. I'm going to look around. I'm looking for a nice chain necklace that can have a gem socketed into it, hopefully.
It looks like his inventory was probably hit pretty hard. Perhaps understandably. During this fight. But there's still a fair amount of the more affordable options at the very least. You see very nice chains of silver, gold. One that is made of what appears to be steel or iron, sort of a dark chain. All sorts of gems behind what appears to be a more secure case, one that looks like it has cracks in it if someone tried to break it open but failed. It's about the time you're looking at those that the man sort of looks up, happily, with almost like a happy sound, he sets the gem down delicately that he was carving, and then he notices you. He says, "My apologies, good sir. I didn't even notice you come in."
It's all right.
Well,
It's how people get when they're absorbed into their work.
It's quite a problem. I should have noticed. I apologize.
It speaks to the quality that you look into in your wares.
Have my thanks. Oh, do you see anything that you like?
I'm looking at your necklaces here,
Ah,
trying to get something a little special.
well, we do have quite a lovely couple of chains, if that's what you're looking for. Gold and white gold, silver, and a bit of steel and iron, although you might be surprised to know that the steel and the iron is what goes fastest.
I think I like the steel. I like the idea.
Well, it has special significance in Stolreich. I think that's why sometimes people go for it so much. But a steel necklace can be beautiful and lovely, and as you can see, the craftsmanship is quite delicate. As he holds it up, it is a beautiful necklace. It's not made from an incredibly valuable material, but it shines and it catches the light nicely. It's simple. It's not ridiculously gaudy or ostentatious, just well-made jewelry. Is this for yourself or for someone else special? I only ask
For someone
to
special.
see if you want to try it on or not.
It's not for me.
Ah, well, they are a very lucky person. The steel chain of relatively not impressive make. I'd be more than happy to sell it to you for only 3 gold pieces.
I mean, the chain is one part. Is this something that you might be able to affix a gem to?
Ah, well, gems we do have, lad. Are you looking for garnets, amethysts, sapphires, diamonds?
An
What?
emerald.
Ah, certainly,
course.
guy. They have emeralds. Unfortunately, that's going to be a bit more expensive than the chain, lad.
That's fine.
But we've got a lovely one that'll fit fine for, I like you, so I'll only charge 15 gold pieces.
Thank you. Now, that would be more than appropriate. Do you know of anyone who might be able to enchant this for me?
Oh, yes. You're probably going to want to head over to the scriptorium. There's a woman there named Delilah that can...
Oh god, not
She's
back there.
got some... She's got some more capable magical abilities than I do. I myself mostly deal in just the actual creation, and if there's enchanting to be done, I contract that out. But we're gonna pause for a second because a Pizza Hut just arrived.
Hey,
Wow.
Alright, yeah. He says, yes, 18 gold total, lad.
God damn it, it did the same to me. Reed will bow and hand over the gold.
Of course. If you want to wait just a moment, it shouldn't be too hard to fit one of these emeralds in. As he takes an emerald and he takes the chain, which does have a little place for fitting. And he sort of, you can see he pulls down his jeweler's lens a couple of times. You see his eyes sort of greatly magnified through it as he carefully takes the jewel and he manages to house it. He takes like a little pair of scissors and manages to squeeze it all together. There's even a faint glow. You suspect faint glow of perhaps some sort of magic binding it in place. Even so, he hands it back to you, and you've got a nice little steel chain with an emerald upon it.
Thank you very much. I'm sure she'll love this.
Oh, very lucky girl indeed. Is there anything else that I can do for you, lad?
You've done more than enough. Thank you.
Of
Reed
course.
will bow one more time and begin to head out.
Oh, such a kind fellow.
I really like the jeweler Sean Connery.
And it looks like I'm back to Delilah.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna walk into the haberdasher. Delilah's gonna be on the other side. Hi there.
Perhaps for the best, Lila has a thing for romance, and if she knows what this is going for, may be inclined to help you out a little.
And listen, if you two are at the party together and she gets to see a little bit of the romance, she'll be like, man, my work was fucking good.
Huh. She leans over to her. You should kiss him, like, right now. Don't mind me, I'm gonna be watching from the corner.
Who else is doing what? Reed is out there dealing with the jeweler at like times passing. Who else is doing anything? If there's anyone doing anything.
That's probably it for me.
I just want nice booze for our party. Which I can probably get at the innkeeper's.
Yes, you can talk to the innkeeper.
I'll just do that later.
Marcus.
Yep, I'll just do that later.
Klaus will be going to the stables.
Okay.
Klaus, save a horse, ride a cowboy.
Hell,
Great.
hell yeah, brother.
Everybody loves riding cowboys.
Colin, is there like a sign of like marriage status that people would wear, like how we have rings that we wear? Like, did Delilah have one?
Not that you saw.
Hey, Aruna can get in on that.
No, I'm getting in on that. Fuck Aruna.
No. She's got the hots for Aruna, dude. You're not.
Looks like I'm fucking getting my dick wet.
That's okay. I saw the potion seller, and she's also very nice.
Potion setup.
Potion seller?
Enough of these games.
Give me your strongest potion seller.
You only go strongest potion.
Enough of these games, potion seller.
Honestly, can you play a fucking D&D game where someone knows that reference and it doesn't get brought up?
No, it's impossible.
It is literally impossible.
All right. Reads into the beautiful lady.
Oh, are they not doing a haberdashery?
I'll go ahead and move you in there. Klaus, you should already be in the stables.
Is there a haberdasher?
There is a haberdasher.
Yeah, that's where Lou just was.
No,
No, I was at
that's
the
where I'm going.
jeweler.
I just don't know if there was like a building for it. Is what I was saying.
There is. It's
Oh, no.
It is close to the jeweler. Unfortunately, fortunately, it held up better than the jeweler's store. You can see there is a lovely sort of. In contrast to the jeweler's store, it actually looks a little bit more dour, with dark, sort of sophisticated woods and sort of gilded lettering across a large glass window that says "a hat for every occasion."
Well,
Shit.
hell yeah.
As
Hats
you
are cool.
as you enter, you can see the owner sort of sitting there looking rather bored, leaning on the counter. She is what appears to be an Aesmar in maybe her late 30s, early 40s. Her eyes sort of half-lidded as she blows the hair up in her face. But as soon as you enter, she almost immediately shoots up and says, "Customers?
Yeah,
Well, please.
you're open, right?
Of course. Step inside. Make yourselves at home." Wow. It's just we have. I have to excuse my surprise. It's just we have so few people seeking fine clothing in town.
Oh, I'm not often in the search for fine clothing, but I need a
Clearly.
cloak. I mean, my people don't really need clothes.
Of course, but you no doubt want to cover yourself up. Cloak, yes, we have many cloaks in many colors and many cuts. many lengths. What are you, about a 6.5-foot length or so?
Tall?
Well,
More than that.
with a cloak, we wouldn't want it to drag across the
No,
ground or anything
that's
like
true.
that.
But I would like it to be a cloak of protection if possible.
Well, we do carry various enchantments on clothings, including cloaks of protection. That is a rather popular item, and so we keep a few in stock. A little bit boring, but, well, what can you expect in a town like this? Excitement is when someone pulls in a 12-pound knucklehead bass or something like that. Any particular color? You look like a... judging by your skin color?
Carapace?
Carapace color? Maybe a nice, like, hunter green or something like that.
Sure. Work
And,
well.
It's a fairly common, I would say common item. It's fairly popular, and so we do keep a couple in stock. I could maybe part with one for useful, but really popular. I'll give it to you for 267 gold pieces.
That is an incredibly specific amount.
Well, is that
It's not inappropriate from
It's a
at least to my
specific
knowledge.
product.
That just
well, I've taken in account of the time and the material I've spent working on them, the materials and cost
You're
of the
quite good at
enchantment
math.
materials. Well, thank you. Was well educated, I suppose.
that'll be fine. Could you also clean up this hood of mine and maybe just attach the two together if possible? And I'd show her the flagellant's hood.
Of course, of course. She pretty quickly casts prestidigitation on it and pulls all the dirt off, and then takes it back, and you can see she has a thread, and she says, magical cloak mending, that's going to be 6 gold pieces.
Okay, so 273 total.
Yes. But it will be as good as new, I assure you.
Thank you.
And she takes a needle, and you can see she doesn't even attach thread to it. It almost looks like thread appears on it, sort of faintly glowing thread as she begins going through and patching up holes and things like that, and making sure everything is attached properly. She returns it. You have to look with some effort to find where the patches are exactly, but it's largely patched up. It looks very good.
Cool. Thank you.
Oh, it's no problem. It's my pleasure, really. Is there anything else that I can do for you, or did anyone else go in with him?
I've spent
I did not.
a bunch of money, in my opinion, so I'm good.
How much? How much AC does a cloak of protection give? Just one?
+1, yeah.
Okay. Do you have any other magical items here?
Well, of course we do, darling. Have all sorts of... well, obviously you've already got a cloak, but we've got all sorts of slippers and headbands and things along that line. That's what we mostly deal in cloth, I'm afraid. Let's see. Don't want to look up Clipper, want to look up Slipper. It depends largely on what you're looking for, obviously. We've got, she pulls out a pair of, like, really, nice, like, purple slippers that almost look like they have stars on them. She says, these lovely little things are ethereal slippers. They make your footfalls very difficult to see, at least on this plane. If you're trying to escape scrutiny, well, they can be quite useful, and not very expensive.
It's pretty nifty. How much are they?
Oh, for these ethereal slippers, I'd be willing to part with them for 80. We do have other slippers as well. Some a little bit more expensive, but a little bit more, or a little bit less situationally useful, I suppose. We do have some very nice slippers that have been made from Aarakocra down. Not just keeping your feet warm, but temporarily granting you a flying speed.
Well, I have some other shopping I'd like to go and do, but I'd like to keep those in mind. I appreciate that.
Oh, of course. They'll be here. I doubt anyone's going to walk in anytime soon, and... well...
City nearly being destroyed and such.
yes, unfortunately.
It's good to see you're still open, at least.
Well... I always did have a heart for exploration and adventure. Of course, I always romanticized it in my head and thought, oh, the northern coast should be quite filled with all sorts of excitement, and turns out it's largely filled with drunks and snow.
It's exciting to me because there's very little snow where I'm from.
Oh, I can imagine. You're from... well, I've heard of your kind, at least. From the deserts.
I am.
Well,
But if you'd like, I believe a friend, one of my friends and traveling partners, is throwing a sort of party for us at the Ice Flows. If you would like to come later tonight.
I very well may take you up on that offer. To tell you the truth, it can be rather humdrum about this town. The only excitement was that attack from a couple of undead. All seemed like a big hubbub. I barely saw anything before I ran out the city. Of course, judging by the damage, it must have been quite the party.
Yep. More than you can imagine.
Well, should you want those slippers, they will be here ready and waiting.
Well, thank you. And
Of course.
I head back to the blacksmith because I want to ask him about a shield, since I seem to be just keeping my shield.
He is able, whenever you come back, he says, well, look me, you're back already, lad.
Yep, I figured I'd end up being back. I was wondering if you had any magical shields, or maybe just like a +1 shield. I don't know.
Oh, of
Don't know the
course.
pricing of those kind of things.
Oh, well, a +1 shield, pretty easy to come across. It's not too hard. If you're looking for just a regular +1 shield, lad, of course we've got it, and they're not much more they're not any more expensive than your average magical item. I could easily part with a +1 shield. Let me check my inventory quite quickly.
Sure.
He sticks his head back, and you can hear him sort of going through some items back there. He says, all right, one. All right. He turns around and says, normally a shield costs 10 GP. A +1 shield's a little bit more expensive. I could do it for 150.
Okay.
That is if you're just wanting a standard +1 shield. I could look in the back and see if got anything special, but can't
Sure.
guarantee. As he sort of sticks
the
his
beat.
head behind. How strong are you, lad? Like, what sort of strength do you got? So you think you could heft something pretty hefty, or?
No. No.
That's
Ooh,
unfortunate.
tower shield time.
He
tower
He
shield.
tosses a tower shield out of the
Hell
way.
yeah!
It would
Iron
it would be nice, but no. I have quite little strength.
Right. Ah. That one, not that one. Strength as he tosses a very large iron shield to the side. This is an interesting one. He sort of pops his head around the corner and says, I do have this shield. It's, well, it's not exactly... I would actually say it's actually more and less defensively focused than +1 shield. You see, it doesn't have a +1 bonus in mechanical terms. It doesn't enchant you that way. But he sort of carefully steps out and he sort of braces himself as he takes this pretty heavy iron shield. And he says, "Bam!" As all of a sudden the shield expands to like a 15-foot steel wall in front of, like a defensive wall.
Jeez.
Huh. That.
Well, that's one way.
All right. How much is that?
Huh. Well, it's probably only slightly more expensive than the +1 shield, lad. It doesn't come along with its own, it does come with a couple of downsides. Whenever it's extended like that, you sure as hell can't move and you can't dodge, but...
So,
If you
mechanically
speaking, whenever you do that, it extends a 15... you can use an action to plant it in the ground and expand its height and width to stretch up to 15 feet across in either direction, potentially becoming a flat defensive wall or a platform. Essentially, you can make it a wall or like a platform. The edges of the shield magically conform to fit the shape of an enclosed space, such as a wall or a tunnel or a hallway. While holding the expanded shield in place, your speed becomes 0. You have disadvantage on dexterity checks and dexterity saving throws. The shield's weight always remains the same. Basically, you can throw up a defensive shield behind you, like a defensive wall, and it has a AC of 14 and 40 hit points. It can remain expended for a minute before it reverts back to its normal size.
Huh.
Or you can revert it as a bonus action. It's just mostly an interesting shield.
That is interesting. But it's not a +1?
It is not a +1 shield.
But Nick, think of the walls you can create.
I mean, that's true.
That one is kind of nifty.
It does block line of sight and things like that, so technically things would have to target the shield. It's just for AoE stuff. Basically, you're kind of fucked. And also you couldn't like run away, and that is, you'd be making walls for everyone within, like, basically everyone next to you, but it is not a +1 shield, and it also roots you in place.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about being rooted in place, so...
Understandable.
I guess I'll just go with just a +1 shield.
Of course.
He said 150?
Yes, pretty simple. We got quite a few of them in stock, and after what you did for the town, and I think 150 is more than fair.
Thank you.
He hands it over. Looks like he has got quite a few of them. Unfortunately, anything beyond an uncommon magic item, you're probably not going to find here.
Yeah.
Alright, he says, if there's anything else I can do for you, I've got to get to work on this, mask.
Oh, that'll be it, thank you.
Of course. Tell your friends about the dense lament.
I will.
Meanwhile, at the stable. Klaus, outside of town, there is a stable that has a rather... unfortunately, I'll bring in the stable. It's
Cloak of Protection doesn't actually give me. Oh, it's because I have to.
You have to, yeah, it is an attunement item. You can see there is a stable hand that's sort of going about. There are many animals here, several donkeys, horses, a couple of oxen, even a couple of mastiffs, riding dogs, off to one side, all sort of gathered around. As you can see, they're actually rather harmoniously together in a large pen, as there's a stable hand, a boy of maybe 17 or 18, sort of pouring feed into it, muttering to himself. Can't believe I got stuck on feed duty today.
I'm back.
Do you like the stable?
I do like the stable. That's a cool background.
Alright, there's a boy, you see a boy that's feeding a large amount of animals, sort of a menagerie of mundane animals. It's not like I'm not imagining don't imagine that I'm imagining a magical menagerie or anything like that. It's freaking a standard stable. There's horses, oxen.
I mean, yeah, it's bumfuck nowhere, so my expectations are
not anything. There's a couple of cows and chickens. There's a couple of riding mastiffs as well, or they could be used as riding mastiffs, but they're just dogs at this point. They all seem to be but they all seem to be quite harmoniously together. As you can see, there's an young stable hand, maybe 18 or somewhere 17, 18, 19, somewhere late teens, maybe up into early 20s, sort of dumping grain into large troughs in front of the horses, and every now and then he reaches into a pouch and throws out a piece of dried meat to one of the dogs that sort of you can see they all leap up into the air and sort of begin tugging at it. One catches it and another one immediately sort of tries to pounce on it, and they sort of fight over it a little bit. Says, shut up. Can't believe I got stuck doing feed duty.
Excuse me.
Yeah?
I was hoping you could help me find the horse I'd like to buy.
He, like, motions behind him. We got him.
Oh. Well, I was hoping for, like, a horse that was more temperamental towards, novice riders.
You're gonna want a draft horse, or maybe a mule. Can't go wrong with a mule. Very sweet.
Show me the draft horses, please.
Of course. Now, if you're wondering why I'm not talking like an 18-year-old, I'm talking like an older gentleman. Because I've run out of voices I can do before turning into Sprocket or my stereotypical rumble bottom halfling voice.
It's okay, I know plenty of smoke.
God forbid I start talking like Thomas. You don't want that. Yeah, we got lots of draft horses and things like that. Maybe a half dozen or so. I mean, you got a particular color you like, or what?
I'm not picky.
Alright. He shows you to some of the more docile horses. You can see there's a couple horses that are clearly antsy, and also there are a few hands higher and a lot better muscled than the draft horses, and you suspect they are war horses that sort of dance around nervously. But he leaves you to the much more sort of docile horses that are munching away on these oats and this sort of grain that he's poured out. You can see the snow is sort of falling around them, but they don't really seem to notice or mind. They stand sort of haunch to haunch with the oxen and sort of happily munch away as with a sigh, the man sort of looks at the water trough and sees that it's starting to freeze over. He pulls out a small crowbar and breaks up the ice so there's water that can be drunk. And he says, "All right, these 6 horses here, they're our draft horses, right? They're all pretty much the same. They've all... I mean, you're not going to want to ride these bad boys into battle, but if you need them to pull a cart, well, they can certainly pull a cart."
That will do fine for me. I'm not going to be pushing it too hard.
Oh, that's good. That's good. You can see there are 3 that are a simple, like, black, basically. It's sort of grayish black, all one color. There are 2 that are white, or sort of grayish white, and they have these sort of dark speckling across the back. And there is one in particular that is slightly larger. Looks like it's actually a Clydesdale.
Ooh. I want to look at the Clydesdale.
This horse is big. He dwarfs the other draft horses by a significant amount, rising almost to the height of, or about to the height of the war horses. And yet, as you stand in front of it and it sits there munching its oats, you can tell it has a very docile nature. It looks almost bored with everything around it. Doesn't care about the snow, doesn't care about the dogs barking nearby, doesn't care that you're standing there.
Can I make like an animal handling check or something like that? See how she
Sure.
responds to me, like petting or something like that.
Sure.
All right. I did it for my character sheet. That's a 9.
She seems very she seems very docile. She hasn't made any sort of skittish moves, and you're not sure, but she's not giving you any reason to think she's either aggressive or prone to bolting. And even the stable hand says, "Yeah, that's Greta. She's a real sweetheart as long as she's fed, but if she gets hungry, oh boy, if she gets hungry, she can be a real pill."
I start petting her gently. Hello, Greta.
The horse sort of faintly leans into it, but it continues munching away at her oats.
After she's fed, do you think it'd be in order to have some riding lessons? I'm not the greatest. I'm sure Lady out of Ninja has seen much better.
I don't see why not. I mean, I can have her, have her saddled up in no time if you want to go ahead and try a ride right now.
Sure thing.
She's been fed well enough. I wouldn't worry too much about her. He sort of reaches in his pack and hands you a couple apples. If she gets a little antsy, just reach down, hand her one of these. She'll be right as rain. And he goes and he starts grabbing a saddle and a bit and bridle and saddles up the horse. And the Greta just is completely, almost like oblivious. You can tell she sort of understands it's happening, but doesn't really even care. She's more than happy to just have the saddle thrown on her. As soon as she resists the bit and the bridle a little bit, she sort of twists to the side, but soon he has it in, and he says, do you need like a step up, or you think you can manage it?
I'm gonna try and manage it.
Make an acrobatics check.
Okay. That's a 24.
Alright, you'd be pretty easily able to swing your foot over put one foot in the stirrup and swing one foot over and ride atop this lovely sort of dark chestnut covered Clydesdale. You feel extremely tall, as you can see. The boy looks up at you and says, "Alright, why don't you well, you said you haven't ridden before, right?"
I have a little experience, not too much.
You might want to start around the corral, and then maybe you want to see about taking her out into the wilds. Go ahead and give me an animal handling check.
16.
You're able to. She's very docile, and she easily sort of answers to your reins as you sort of pull her to one side, and she that side, pull to the other side. She drifts to that side. She's easy to control. As you're sort of going in circles around the corral, you hear the man say, "She's not built for speed, but oh boy, she can pull a hell of a load."
I'll take her.
All right.
How much for her?
Draft horse, 50 gold pieces.
Alright. And how much for the lesson?
Lesson? Yeah. It's free. Not like you're causing me that much of an inconvenience, but you're gonna need a saddle and some bridle as well. Probably gonna want a simple pack saddle, maybe a bit and bridle. That'll be 7 gold pieces for the bit and bridle and the saddle. I mean, unless you've got one to use yourself.
I have no gear, I'm sorry. I'll need to buy everything.
It's fine, we've got plenty of both. Do you have any feed for, or?
I will need some feed for the
You suspect that the feed you can probably adequately acquire from Adelindra.
Okay.
Obviously, this is basically a light cavalry unit. You probably could have procured bit and bridle and saddle from her as well. Even so, it's nice to know that you're going to actually own that bit and bridle, and she's not going to take it back.
Yeah, that's true.
All right.
So that's, you said 57?
57 gold pieces total.
Alright. Hang on, I gotta do math. And I'm not using my goddamn calculator because I should be able to do this. But I'm drunk.
You've been a good horse, Greta. Now run free, sweet lady. Got a new owner now.
If you're interested, we're throwing a party for the whole town at the, what's the place called?
The ice flows?
Yes, the ice flows. We're having a party there.
Oh, I'm banned from that place.
What? What did you get banned for?
Let's just say the owner can be a little bit overprotective of his barmaids, and maybe I got a little handsy one night.
You can get hands with me anytime.
Well, you are certainly forward, my friend. And maybe I will show up at that party after all. You're able to take the horse, and I'll lead it away. Or he says, we can hold it here until you leave. I won't even charge stabling or anything like that. I mean, it was gonna be here anyways.
By the way,
Yeah,
Colin,
I
I wanna go and find Grop because it should be here.
Ah, yes, poor Grop. Poor Grop.
Oh. Hey, Colin.
Grop has been turned into fried chicken.
Oh no.
Oh goodness. Hey, how much longer are we playing, Colin? Out of curiosity.
6 more hours.
Oh geez, it's already 8:20. Holy crap.
Yeah, I was gonna say, unfortunately, time is running short for me,
All right.
I say we hold the party for next time.
for sure. Except Ida is not invited, and neither is
Ito-san.
Karaka.
All right. You take. Reed, you head back to the sort of
Rolls and
the scripts and scrolls, and you can see Delilah is there. She's reading through one of her sordid romance novels, and she looks up and says, "Back already?"
I wasn't expected to be back this soon, but it appears that
Darling.
you are the one. You are the one people go to for enchantment.
Well, I do have the most magical experience of everybody in this town. Not to brag.
as long as experience can assist me in this gift.
Well, my little chickadee, what can I do for you?
I'm looking for some type of enchantment, any kind of protection that I might be able to put on this necklace.
Well, there could be many things, really. Of all sorts of strengths. Is there anything in particular?
To be honest, I was hoping you could help me narrow it down, but
Well, I certainly can if you don't have anything in mind.
something to keep her safe.
Of course, darling, of course. Let me think for a moment. There is, well, are you trying to keep her safe, physically safe, or magically safe? Perhaps safe against prying eyes and things like that. I understand what it can be like to have someone's eyes unwelcomely looking at you.
More physical. She is a fighter, so.
Well, let's see.
Particularly against some frosty enemy.
There is perhaps periapt of health or wound closure. Those are fairly simple, and while they're not going to save you from throwing yourself off a 200-foot high cliff, in a pinch they can help.
Sorry, what was the first one?
A periapt of health or a periapt of wound closure.
We'll do the.
Now, the periapt of health, it protects against diseases, if you're so inclined, you naughty boy.
We'll go with the wound closure.
Yes. That one is a little bit more, I suppose, topical when it comes to safety. Should you, or should she suffer truly grievous damage, it will stabilize her, essentially, and prevent her from dying. That is a little bit more expensive than the periapt of health, however.
That's fine. This is important, so it wouldn't matter.
Who is this necklace for? Yourself?
Been saying she, haven't I?
Well, I can't tell what you are. Are you some sort of small child?
Got him.
Damn.
Weird looking little girl.
Yes, it's for someone close.
Oh, I love a good gift. I'll even give you a bit of a discount on it. How's that sound? How about common magical item, fairly useful, requiring attunement. We'll do it for 100 gold pieces even.
If that gets it done.
Oh, you're such a sweetheart. I'll do it for 80.
God, I'm just not good with this lady. Reed will just nod and bow. Thank you very much. And he's going to he'll place
love
the
it.
necklace on the table.
Ooh, so fine.
gold out.
What a lovely jewel. How wonderfully quaint and simple and lovely. I'll have it enchanted in no time, my darling. She takes it and she chants it. Becomes a very active wound closure. For only 80 gold pieces. Pretty good deal. Hands it back to you. It's fairly easy enchantment for myself. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
No, but you have been a great help in this.
Of course, my little chickadee.
Reed will bow one last time as he leaves.
She sort of mimics the bow, sweeps her hat off, puts it back on as you step out the doorway.
Alright.
If you've got nothing, with nothing else to buy, probably, if anybody else has anything they want, think about it. But the day is growing late. You've been all about this sort of central square and buying all sorts of various items, and you can see the night is very rapidly approaching. The sun has fallen quite low in the sky. The beautiful sort of pristine kind of blue is given way to all sorts of oranges and pinks, and soon velvety blackness begins to descend upon the town itself as orange torchlight begins to pour from windows, casting its flickering warmth across the snowy landscape. You head, as you're heading back towards the ice floes, let me roll a d6 here. Reed, as you're in the fading light, as you're heading towards the ice floes, you can see there's a couple of hussars that are close to Sagat's sundries. They look like they might have had
Testing.
yeah, I can hear you. They look like they might have had a couple of things to drink. One of them says, one of them seems to have a crossbow, and it looks like it's been discharged, and you can see he's trying to load another bolt into it as another of the hussars next to him, sort of with slightly slurred speech, just shakes his head. You missed, you idiot. As he sort of takes the crossbow and starts trying to load a quarrel into it. Give me a perception check, Reed.
Okay. I don't know why, but I'm back at the blacksmith. Can't see anything. One second.
Oh, Reed. Or
Let me try rejoining completely. Because my token was in another place. For some reason, I'm stuck at the blacksmith. I don't have my hotkey, or not my hotkey thing, but my...
Let's see. You don't have a token, but you can just, it's just the map. Reed, make a perception check.
First. Oh, wow. Nope, that's a 5.
Alright. You can see they sort of carefully, the drunk man sort of carefully aims up the crossbow, and he is going to make an attack roll with disadvantage. He is drunk. Wow, I accidentally rolled on a runa because I have a runa token selected, but that doesn't really matter.
Man, I'm good.
You only rolled
Yeah, I
one.
only rolled one, so. Oh, well, the one is good enough. You can see he sort of sways and carefully fires off the bow, and you can see there is like a faint sound as you can see tumbling from the sky a raven, but this doesn't look like a raven. This raven doesn't have black feathers, they are bronze. As you can see, Abigail in her raven form just tumble from the sky. Having flown to Ingress for some reason, these two guards have managed to bring her down with the crossbows. You can see she tumbles to the ground just outside the walls.
So I see this and I'm aware that's Abigail.
Yes, you suspect it's or you can't think of any other raven you've ever seen with bronze feathers.
Even though I completely screwed up.
Did not
Alright.
manage to catch it during the. You did not manage to catch the perception
Yeah,
check to
beforehand.
stop him.
Naturally, I'll run over there while shouting, "Are you guys idiots?"
All right. They say, "What are you talking about? It's just a bird."
How many ravens have you seen that are wrong?
I don't know.
This is not some simple bird.
One looked pretty simple to me. Sure went down like a simple bird, right, buddy? As they high five each other.
He just shakes his head. This is why the monastery does not allow drinking. He's gonna try to take the crossbow away.
They don't really resist you as they just sort of roll their eyes. Why, you want to go shoot some birds too? That's fine. We got lots of crossbows. We got lots of quarrels. Birds shoot birds. You want to shoot snowflakes? Shoot snowflakes. Whatever.
Now that they can't make any more problems, let's go check on Abigail.
It's not hard to find the crumpled warforged outside the towns. You can see she's sort of slowly rising to her feet, sort of shaking her head, having been struck by the quarrel. No longer in a raven form, she's reverted back to herself, and you can see she's got a couple of dents, and she's banged up a little bit. But she does manage to rise to her feet. She sort of staggers forward towards the gate, and sees you almost immediately, and she sort of rushes towards you. I've been flying for days from Festenhaven.
Alright, it's alright, calm down, just
I need to talk. I have to talk to the captain. I have to talk to Captain Adelindra.
Alright, I believe she's back in the town. It's alright.
No, it's not. She has to know the port city of Hieronymus is just... It's gone. It's gone. And she sort of staggers through the gate towards, looking around. I have to tell her. It's just gone. And we will end it right there.